Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm with Universe and Martin Nerdy, and it's time for a new month, which means it's time to kind of catch up on things. Since it's been a while since I reviewed the last season, and I promised that I would get through this, especially since there's only 4 seasons, that I would try to get through this as quickly or as recent as I can, because I know that there is a bunch of fans of the series, myself included. So, of course, I had to. And while I'm pre-recording this, I almost forgot completely to start working on videos for March, especially because I've been mostly dealing with stress for the most part. So yeah, that kind of did affect me a little bit of doing this. But I'm happy that I'm sitting down and actually doing this right now. So, because I actually am going to talk about the complete second season of Static Shock. Back in January, I talked about the first season when I was starting to do the new things on the channel. And I completely and utterly forgot. I'm like, oh, I have this to do. Um, well, oops. But yeah, my sincere apologies. But yes, I am going to be jumping into the second season of Static Shock. This will be my review retrospective that you want to call it upon the second season of Static Shock. So if you haven't seen Static Shock the first season, but you want to check out the second, spoiler. Just be forewarned that there might be some spoilers inside this review, so you've been warned right now, spoilers. Otherwise, please enjoy my review of Static Shock Season 2. Now, Static Shock Season 1 was a phenomenal hit, and it wasn't no mystery whether the series would have gotten a Season 2 or not, because definitely it would have. So, what happened last time in Static Shock was that we met a young African American teenager named Virgil Hawkins who accidentally got into a gang fight, who then was exposed to something known as Bang Gas, or the Bang Baby experiment, which turned most South Dakotians or Dakotians or wherever that Virgil basically exists, which is the Dakota verse. So, whether it's North or South Dakota, but we do have to, but with that mystery, like completely done and out of the way, it basically turned him into a metahuman or Bane Baby. So thus he decided to use his great gift of controlling electricity and electricity manipulation in order to become a superhero, with his secret identity being basically hidden to his best friend known as Richie. So not much has changed throughout the season 2 because it's a superhero show. There is no big, different changes. Oh, sure, in some superhero shows that we see nowadays, like, for example, Arrow, Flash, Lois and Superman and Lois, there is always a slight change from season to season. But with Static, not so much. Oh, sure, there are some great episodes in this one. I'm going to highlight a few of my favorites in season 2, just like I did in season 1. And at some point, yes, but I want to wait until I'm done reviewing all 4 seasons before I do a top 10. So just keep patient and wait. I know that was one of my top 10 poll votes, but I'm kind of glad that one didn't win because it's like I like to review the other seasons first before I jump into that. So for anybody that is excited for that happening, it's gonna happen. Just be patient with me. But Static season 2 also did tie Static in to a lot of superheroes. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, when season 1 came out, was a huge successful hit. A lot of people really did like the series. But season 2 is where they took a lot of experiment and went right down the rabbit hole and said, alright, listen, kids like Static Shock. Static Shock has a big audience. So why don't we try doing some things that we should be talking about? One of the episodes, just so happens to be Jason Morrison's and Phil Lamar's favorite episode, which we'll get into later on in this review. But as such, what does Season 2 have to offer? Well, it had to offer quite a bit, truthfully. Such as, for example, Static Shock teaming up with Batman and Robin. Not a joke, this was the very first episode of season 2 for Static to join the Cape Crusaders.
Where's the signal device I gave you? The battery must have gone. Actually, I kind of misplaced it.
Anyone else feel that this was Dwayne McDuffie going, oh yeah, I have plans with this young superhero, big plans, and especially for him teaming up with Batman first, that was pretty big. There's also an episode, weirdly enough, where Static teams up with NBA superstar Shaquille O'Neal. That was a thing that happened.
Here tonight.
Are you kidding? The night's still young, Shaq. Oh yeah, up for a little 2-on-1?
12 midnight is not young. You can play in the morning if
There's also one of the best holiday or Christmas themed episodes that had to deal with the fact of homelessness, which honestly is a lot better than you probably gave it credit for.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that.
I thought when I got these powers, things would get better for me. They didn't. I'm more alone now.
And also, one of arguably the greatest episodes ever that have to deal with gun violence in school. Oh yeah, Static goes there.
Ouch! It's not worth it!
She's right, man. You're all upset about this now, but next week, it won't even matter. Don't mess up your whole life over this.
Yeah, when Dwayne McDuffie was in the team with season 2, they definitely had a lot of things that they wanted to tackle. Now, yes, Static did have some goofy episodes, like an episode where Static faces off against a metahuman that once was his friend, that turned people into mindless puppets because she wanted to run for school president. There's a joke here that I can make about a certain person who ran for president, the kind of people that voted for him were mindless slaves. I got nothing. But there's also the highly regarded episodes, such as the Christmas-themed episode, and also, yes, the gun violence episode, which, at the time, during the late 90s to early 2000s, because I remember seeing it a lot, there were shows that had to deal with the fact of gun violence. And to see a children's animated property deal with gun violence makes you know, yes, we are trying to reach out to everyone, that this is a bad thing that continuously happens. And what is probably the best Static Shock episode that people always talk about is the episode Jimmy. And it's a great episode to watch yourself. Like, if you have to take one episode from Static Shock to tell somebody to watch, some people might say the Origin episode, which is a great place to start. Some people might say the crossover episode with Batman, or Batman Beyond, or Superman, or even the Justice League, but I digress. The best episode and the best place to probably start is Jimmy. Tell somebody, like, hey, I'm looking to get into the Static Shock series. Could you recommend, like, a few good episodes? Make sure on that list you recommend Jimmy. Like, Jimmy is an episode, note that I said before to people, that should be an episode that schools should watch. That they should show in, like, an auditorium to basically kids of all ages, to show them why both bullying and gun violence is bad. Like, it's just that well written, that well crafted, and that well voice acted that I think that episode did win an award for best written animated episode, and no contest to see why. It is really that damn good. And like I said, I'm pretty certain that it is one of Phil Lamar and Jason Marsden's favorite, one of their favorite episodes, or all-time favorite episode. And it's not difficult to see why that would be, especially in the voice acting department. So yes, it was very clear that there were big plans happening with Static, especially moving later on down the ladder. Yes, unfortunately, Static Season 1 and Season 2 outfit I don't like. I prefer the black and gold, which a friend of mine actually has a Static Shock t-shirt with the black and gold aesthetic that I am still jealous over, mind you. I'm not letting it go. I'm very jealous. Jealousy. Like that, no. But in all sincerity, really did not dislike it. Might have to get myself one at some point just for the aesthetic of it. So season two did have, guest stars. It did have a lot of great episodes. And is it worth checking out? Yes. It is without a doubt a great follow up from season one, and it definitely does show. But I have to nitpick one thing about the rest of the seasons, and especially as somebody from the deaf and hard of hearing community, this is something that should be on every DVD no matter what, no matter how old it is. See, before I talk about some of my favorite episodes, season one has both the had the TV captions that work and also has English subtitles. Season two onward does not, and that kind of bugged me a little bit because I have to turn my television up pretty loud in order to really hear everything. Look, WB, I love you guys, Warner Brothers. I love you guys, but when you guys are doing this, like with old TV series that we grew up with, like Static Shock, Justice League, and everything, would it really hurt or kill you to please think about us, the deaf and hard of hearing community? Like, who cares about the people that bitch about this kind of thing? About, oh, I don't like the subtitles on the DVD. Listen to me. If you want more people like the deaf and hard of hearing community to really fully appreciate what you do for us, please consider in adding subtitles into every different release. Like, if you ever put out like a box series of this, I will buy it, like you did with like Justice League and Batman and Superman. I will buy it. But please have every season be subtitled, please, because it would mean so much to me as a deaf and hard of hearing community person. So, if you could do that for me, I'd be praising the ever-loving hell out of you. Alright, so with that all done and out of the way, let's talk about some of my favorite episodes from Season 2 of Static Shock before I give my overall and full opinions. And you heard me praise it, so let's start off with probably my most favorite episode from Season 2. I already praised it, so I'm gonna keep praising it even when I meet the top 10. I'm just telling you this right now. It is on the list, so let me just praise the ever-loving shit out of it. Starting with Jimmy. One of the best written episodes and best handcrafted episodes by far for Static Shock, and if you want to know why, see this episode. After gun violence has happened, Richie, Static's best friend, ends up getting shot, which of course he's very terrified about what will happen to his best friend, but his father reassures him that he should stay at school. Which the whole episode is Static remembering what happened that fateful day when Jimmy went, rogue, and started basically carrying a gun around school threatening to kill his bully. This is really one of the greatest and best written episodes, and it definitely goes to see why, especially explaining how gun violence to children watching the series is bad. Consequences. Another really damn good Static episode that really goes to show you that sometimes you should be careful about the people around you and not let your ego go to your head. Static and Daisy by this point almost seem like they start dating. Well, certainly they almost reach that certain point in their, friendship/relationship they got. That is until, while Static is dealing with Bane babies, accidentally Daisy gets injured, which Static blames himself for not being there to protect her when she needed him. It's an episode that deals with a lot, but mostly the consequence is never put someone you love in harm's way because you never know what will happen to them. And also, it was insanely terrifying to see Static go evil, or try to go rogue, and if it wasn't for Rubber Band Man, he would've. Frozen Out, the Christmas-themed episode, which is honestly a pretty good one, because while everybody's trying to enjoy the holidays, they forget about something that hits America tragically, homelessness. While trying to enjoy the holidays, a Bane baby that had the power to control ice is basically running havoc and raging rampages, but that's only because she's homeless and she doesn't control her powers well. And this is a well done episode to let people know just how bad that homelessness can be and how bad it can get, especially around the time of the holidays. An amazing, hand down, well crafted, and well thought out episode. And yes, I will probably be reviewing this when Christmas time rolls around just because. Attack of the Living Brain Puppets. Yes, a more goofier episode, I can admit that, but god damn it, do I just love it for the goofy aspect. It's time for everybody to start voting around school, and everybody's gonna vote for Joey. But unfortunately, all the candidates don't get heard as much as they want to. See this episode just for the goofiness, and you will crack up laughing like I did. I laughed so damn hard when I saw this episode, and trust me, it's great. So is Static Shock Season 2 worth checking out? Yeah, man, I can't help it. It's really, really damn well good of a series. Like, this series does get a lot of love, but it doesn't get as much attention as it should. I mean, most people talk about Batman, the animated series, Superman, the animated series, Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Brave and the Bold. And you know something? They're all wonderful and terrific DC animated properties. But people seem to have forgotten Static, which that's amazingly sad, really. Like, he is one of the highlights of the DC animated universe, especially right next to Batman Beyond, who sometimes doesn't get as much love as he should. Some categories, that is. Like, mostly when people talk about Batman, they're not talking about Terry, they're mostly talking about Bruce, so. It's just a shame that kind of Static is underlooked and a little underrated sometimes, that most people don't talk about him that much, but they should. So, yes, I will pin in the comment down below where you can go and find my Season 1 review if you want to check that one out. And yes, please do check out Static Shock. It is just an amazing, well done, and well crafted series, and especially Season 2 when. Oh, you thought Season 1 tackled things like racism and everything. No. We're going to jump over just a stream of sharks. Not an ocean, a huge stream of sharks, and go, we're going to hit every single topic that we can hit as we are landing. And oh yes, they did a great job. So, why don't you buckle up, gather yourself some Bane babies, and put a shot to your nostalgia and a shot to your system, and check out Static Shock Season 2 because it's really damn worth it. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I make an upload. And try to give more love to Static Shock, as it is my favorite superhero. As it's one of my favorite superhero series, and Static Shock is by far my favorite African American superhero. He even is higher up on the list, more so than like Cyborg, Miles Morales, and yes, even the Black Panther and Storm. I'm sorry. But I really do think that you should check the series out, and if you can, pick the series up. But Warner Brothers, if you ever do a re-release of this for any point in the future, please re-release this, but with all seasons subtitled. I would love if you did that. So please, and thank you. But still do check out Season 2. As I promised that probably around like May, June, I will jump right back into Season 3, and we will continue on and hopefully finish this off before the next year. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in your voice. I want you to keep you on. And be also sure to tell me which Season 2 episodes of Static Shock are your favorite, or if you shared my similar favorites, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to talk to me or follow me, the best way to do so is by probably just subscribing to the channel here, liking, sharing, all that good stuff, and also follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in your voice. I want you to keep you on. And until next time, guys, and as always, take care.